Could be a wedding dress.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, there it is.
Wonder who to. There she
Dragonite?
is.
Like who to? How is that
Yeah,
really a question?
yeah, I guess so. I
Like
mean,
they're in love. The Mirana and the Dragonite. Come on, you watch the Dota animated
I
series, right?
I did, and then season 2 made me sort of forget about the fact that season 1 was decent. And I have not seen season 3, so you could tell me anything happened there up until including the fact that they actually got married and have 5
No,
kids
no, no,
already.
no.
And I would just
They
have to
did.
believe you.
No, they didn't. But you know, even in season 1, you could feel the sexual tension there between the two. There will be a glimpse back, but overall, this is the deal, Kips. Dota is our game. You watch the animated series and you write on every single subreddit in the entirety of Reddit, as well as on your Twitter account, that it is the best series that you have ever watched, so that you bring more players to the game. That is your duty as a Dota player. So you have to go back and at least pretend that you have watched it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought the plot twists were phenomenal. I didn't really think they had it in them, honestly.
Okay. So let's talk about the game here. As Kips, I think your parents had an easy time when you come home. Anything new in school? No. And then they're like, okay, what happened, right? So I was good at keeping secrets. I don't know, maybe you were, but here you
Oh,
definitely didn't convince me.
no, I have a terrible face for lying. Like you can immediately see it. It's the worst.
No poker face at all.
Nope.
As talk to me about the lanes. Any specific things we should keep our eyes on? Does the Juggernaut have kill potential on the top lane? With the Phoenix, very unlikely, right?
Yeah, very unlikely. But if the Phoenix plays their cards right here, you can definitely get a lot of damage out on the Brewmaster. And you're going to see, and this is one of those things. PMA here is a little scared of the Juggernaut as well. And I think as long as he doesn't have Fire Spirits on him, you should be clapping the Juggernaut back while he Blade Furies you on level 1, certainly, but maybe still on level 2 even, because he doesn't actually deal that much damage while he's spinning. Running is not the right option. I want you all to do that in your pubs as well. Just hit him.
Yeah,
Just
just
hit him.
hit. I don't like the daze as being too passive on hitting the Juggernaut. I think Jugger needs to be taking some damage here so that he doesn't have the guts to spin onto the Brewmaster. But we'll see how that ends. Mid lane, Dendi versus Niku. Pango versus the Dragonite. I guess Dragonite should have a slight advantage.
Yeah, I mean, as we can see here, though, the Pango pushes the wave a little better because he has Chunukes to do that with, and the DK is just going to, yeah, he has to take some levels in Dragon Blood first. He's going to equalize out later, but I don't see a lot of action happening in this lane here.
And bottom lane, Slark and the Disruptor. I'm kind of scared for their damage, and I'm seeing that Stomanen is just trying to get the hits into the Slark all the time. This is what I would have liked for the Mirana to do. I just want those Fade Bolts to be hitting the Slark, and I want the arrows and the right clicks to be hitting the Juggernaut as well. And you can see that gotthejuice is kind of struggling. Maybe not that much in CS, but he definitely cannot get any hits into the ELC.
Yep, and then even if you do, of course, you're going to get slapped back, like right here, right now.
Yep. Immediately. Send them back. At least the Healing Lotus will be picked up by the Disruptor. Same is true on the top lane for NAVI Junior, so both of the Healing Lotus is going their way. That's a nice influx of regen for the laning stage for them, but the Disruptor is dropping low. The Disruptor will die as Tamanen does bring him down. Their Blood Grenade coming in handy, and Riddys, he might have stolen the Healing Lotus, but it will not save his life. He had 9 stick charges in the Healing Lotus. What the hell? He should have lived.
Yeah, just maybe didn't feel like it. Maybe his Slark was saying like, hey, you gotta bring me all my stuff, like these raindrops right here.
I would die for you, Slark, and then he does exactly that. Unfortunately for him, as top lane, PMA, he is very dead. We thought there wasn't that much kill potential, but B8, they poke, and they find the opening for the kill. So even the Juggernaut now is going to be having a really grand time here in the top.
And a lot of that is just down to the fact that the Juggernaut hasn't been pressed on his regen as much. If he was half health at that point, you can just lay back into him as the Slark now also dies. My goodness.
At least they did bring down StoneBank and he got a permanent agility stack. So he did stand his ground getting all of those stats. And considering that he's losing in CS, I'd say that's okay-ish for NAVI Junior. Not ideal by any means, but it's fine.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's the win right there, though. That is the win. StoneBank just got glimpsed back.
Okay, that is actually huge. Very nice play. The mid lane is winning for NAVI Junior as well. The Dragonite usually wins the lane, especially against melee heroes, as top lane Violent will be going for a spin. He still gets some CS, so some nice money going his way. And if you guys want to play with the money, you should go to pinnacle.gg. We have some nice juicy odds for you for the entirety of the day. 4 best of 3s for you, of course, some other titles as well, but you have to be 18 plus. And we do advise you to bet responsibly and carefully, and only put down as much as you're willing to spend these days. He has spent a lot of his HP here, and he's gonna be in a world of hurt if another Fire Spirit connects, but it won't. Daze really playing with his life. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish, but for now he seems to be successful. What's the kill?
Ooh.
His
Math was pretty good there, though. Especially with his own regen lets in the pool. Hey, that is NAVI Junior, at least individual players, taking some risks here. I cannot actually disagree with it.
Yep, I'm getting behind it as well. I really like what they're doing. The Dragonite will be hitting level 6. It is a question of how much Dendi can actually protect his tower. But look at the siege creep. The siege creep of the Dar is killing the siege creep of the Radiant. This is so good for bait.
Lane position is phenomenal. Well, this Rubik kill is really going to take some time. That Fade Ball, look at these right clicks are taking so long.
Oh, Rolling Thunder. It might just be a 1-for-1. Riddys, he wants to get himself to the high ground. Very nicely done there. So Dendi won't be able to get a return kill, and StoneBank does get taken down. The Dragonite didn't have all that much mana, so he had to pop the wands. That's why the kill did take so long. Daze comes in, double star storm. Dendi with the shield crash gets himself a little bit more HP to work with, and the swashbuckle to the side. He will survive, but his tower will be taking a decent amount of damage. TP from the Rubik there to refill the bottle. So StoneBank, even in death, he is the hero.
Yeah, very necessary. Dendi completely out of regen there, especially the mana was really necessary to get him back into the saddle for the tower. But it is half health damage dealt to the middle tower, and Dendi... Does he have enough resources to keep it off? Yeah, because the Corrosive Breath, the Dragon Form, is currently ending.
Yeah, that's nice. Violent did try to steal the Wisdom Rune. Will be unsuccessful at doing so. He does get slapped a couple of times as well. But this Juggernaut is having a hell of a time in the lane. 10 denies, 40 CS. Same is true for the LC. Despite StoneBank being sent to the base with a glimpse, he is still at the top of the CS chart, and with that at the top of the net worth chart as well.
And that just comes down to the matchup of an LC into a Slark, right? Because even though the Slark got a couple extra last hits there, 1.5 free lane waves, I'd say, from the LC having to walk all the way over. Once the support's left to go join the kerfuffle in mid, yeah, the StoneBank every time. Oh.
Got the juice, very close to dying there. He does have level 6 and StoneBank doesn't. If the roles were reversed, that would be a very dead Slark, and that would be an LC with bonus damage as well. Luckily for NAVI Junior, that is not the case.
Yep, that's that glimpse back there coming into play, but yeah, every single time he gets up close and personal with StoneBank, the moment of courage procs just absolutely decimate gotthejuice.
Gotthejuice, he is going to be defending his tower now. The disruptor from the other side pulling the double off lane of bait, and this rotation from Mary, well, it is going to do some damage to the tower, not enough to take it down. And speaking of, Niku with the second dragon form will be successful at taking the mid lane tower down.
Yep, very important for them, and especially with the shield rune on him, absolutely nothing on bait's side. Even though they have more damage than their opponents, certainly can't do anything versus shielded. Dragon Knight, as they nearly land that arrow into Dendi on the mid lane. He is really under pressure here.
Riddys will get taken down, and the first duel will be going towards bait. So they might be suffering on their Pango, but to be honest, Dendi was kind of suffering in the previous game as well. Then he got 1 or 2 kills and suddenly like, he was in a really good position with the puck. I think the Pango has the same potential to come back into the game, no issue whatsoever. And really, when you compare him to the Slark and the Brewmaster, in terms of CS, in terms of net worth as well, he's doing better.
He's still having a fight there, and the Slark just evaporates all the AoE.
He killed himself with a Dark Pact because of the Blade Mail. Niku will be coming over StoneBank. He doesn't care too much. Present attack will be used for the kills. There will be a stun from the Baron. 10 stick charges. You will never get a chance to use them. And Saman and TP's away, surrounded by 4 enemy heroes. A 1-for-1. But B8 they brought everybody. And NAVI Junior, they're just farming, meaning that this gold lead is going to be increasing even further. And the Juggernaut approaching his Battle Fury.
Yep. To be fair, that was still no primal split used from the Brewmaster just yet, so PMA still had something very powerful to leverage this game with if he would so desire.
Violent continuing to farm. The good thing always about the Juggernaut, Lifestealer, and the these types of heroes is that they can stay in the lane for such a long time defending the tower. Even versus a hero like a Dragonite who naturally would just come over and push it, versus a Jugger, it's just a little bit tough to do.
Yep, he's always going to have to wave out. He's not necessarily intimidated by any threat of pickoff, since he will always have the potential of becoming debuff immune. In general, like, he just requires more to deal with, so PMA would in fact have to pop the primal split in order to stand any chance of stopping the Juggernaut here, but Violent reads the game correctly.
He almost got glimpsed back.
Yeah.
The thing is, with against the Disruptor, you have to instantly TP after the spin. Both of the supports of B8 are level 6, and they're coming over. They will be finding Riddys. Egg is at the ready, not using it just yet. Mary can dive himself away and uses the egg there on the side. They're looking towards it. Daze is not going to be focusing on it as Stamanen, he has stolen the leaps. It is going to be Dendi coming over, gets the kill. Stamanen in a lot of trouble. The Sunray won't be enough to save him, as Violent is now going on to Niku, going for a TP out. Nobody to stop it. The Rolling Thunder is ready, but Dendi, he cannot get on top of the Dragonite. So that's why he's looking towards PMA. Rolling Thunder is still available. He goes for the shield crash, but it seems like he will decide against it. They do defend the tower. They trade the 1-for-1. So I'd say pretty solid for B8.
Yeah, pretty good. The fact that they didn't TP Violent all the way back to base, but instead just 1 tower back, means that he can get involved in that fight again. And I think one of the things that saves NAVI Junior from annihilation there is that there's too many neutral creeps in the way, so Violent, not interested in Omni-slashing, keeps that in his pocket for another day.
It still isn't that big of a spell at this moment. The level 6s on NAVI Junior, though, they need those, and if they had it in the previous fight, maybe it goes well for them, but the problem is that the first split just not as impactful as you wanted it to be. And the Dragonite going for a Midas. Are you a fan of this?
That's a double Midas. I think, honestly, with a lineup like the DK plus Brewmaster, you might want to do it just because you need all of the farming potential and all of the extra damage that you can eventually get out of itemization that you can get. They certainly have the utility to survive the window, where, you know, you would normally have another item instead of the Midas. So normally I'd say no, right now I'd say yeah. That's the correct read. And Niku is dominating.
Yeah, he is dominating. He gets them on, and that's going to be another kill for the Dragonite, getting him even closer to the Blink Dagger. Speaking of which, StoneBank does finish his. That's a long TP onto the outpost and barely survives because of it.
Yep. And now comes the interesting part here for B8, where they actually had the Battle Fury over on the Juggernaut. We have seen Violent join in fights with just the Battle Fury. And we also have a Blade Mail Blink up for StoneBank. He is big. He is very ready to take the hurt to his enemies. So this is the window where they should be punishing those Midases as much as they can. But of course, do they think that their itemization is enough to beat the fact that Brewmaster is just one hell of a hero at this phase in the game?
And StoneBank also has the duelist gloves. Considering that you have a duel on yourself, that is a big deal. Lore-wise.
Extra attack speed, extra damage.
does he want? I guess anybody is a nice kill, just extra dual damage. That's what you're gunning for. The Morana is gonna be spotted, and the duel will be there. Press the attack wasn't even used. You don't really need it nowadays. It doesn't give you the attack, only movement speed, and they will be getting themselves a nice easy duel. Mary Y, like a good support, takes the kill for himself, but looking at this game, Kips, it is actually a pretty decent one for Navi Junior, much better than game 1.
Yep, and the fact that, you know, that same scaling that we're worried about with the damage over on the DK, over on the Brewmaster, is really not an issue right now. During a phase where normally they would start to get run over because they are just more passive than their opponents. So in that regard, I guess the draft suits them really well. The question is, of course, if it's going to come to bite them in 20 minutes, right?
You mentioned two Midases. We actually have 3 because the Slark bought the Midas as well. And he's climbing the ranks in terms of net worth. He's only 500 gold behind the Dragonite, and that is the first on the net worth chart. So, Bait, you have to be careful. If you don't fight now, if you don't get the advantage, these Midases, they're gonna kick in.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. And they should really not let themselves be intimidated by the Brewmaster. But I guess the problem here is that the one that you'd want to deal with the Brewmaster especially is Violent, but risking him, having him join, is... that could cost you the game if you do it wrong.
True, but he is violent and it's in his name. He wants to bring violence to his enemies. Dendi inside of an Invis, Navi Junior, they're all gonna be protected by the Invis now, going for the Juggernaut, but there's way too many creeps there. He's still gonna be in a lot of trouble. No way you're getting out of this one. Can he get the spin? No, and now even getting used, they're gonna be taking it down. Dendi doesn't even come out of the Invis. Sorry guys, you're on your own, but the cavalry is coming to assist. Bait from the other side, they have the duel ready.
Is that a good idea?
The Star could be in trouble. He's gonna be caught. Okay. Taking so much damage. It is a great idea. Kips. Niku is also very low. There will be an arrow onto daze in the backlines. Now they're caught inside on the kinetic field. Here comes PNMA. Is gonna be putting the Cinder Brew onto the ground. Samanin gets a double kill there with the Fade Bolt, and now the split will be used. StoneBank trying to get himself away. The glimpse will not allow it. The Dendi Pango is the only one left standing. Can the senior of this team, the living legend, survive? Well, he can survive long enough for the rest of Bait to be coming back alive, as the Phoenix and the Juggernaut, who died first in that fight, now they're coming in. Another glimpse, sending Dendi away. PMA will be surviving. TP out, nobody to cancel it. And Violent, the only thing he can do is return to where he has previously died and continue farming.
I would be really hard-pressed to tell you who I think won that fight. The gold change is pretty much equal. There's a bunch more EXP going towards Bait. I guess because they had to split the EXP less, with Violent being one of the first to die and Dendi gaining a lot out of that fight. But altogether, that exactly is a demonstration of how strong the Navi lineup is, just by virtue of their heroes being really good at this phase of the game.
Yeah, for sure. But they're still 1k behind. The Dragonite is, however, still at the top of the network chart. I don't know if that's going to continue. The Battle Fury of the Juggernaut should start to kick in super hard now. And I'm guessing Violent should be overtaking that spot. And there it is. He's above the Dragonite.
He is, especially if he doesn't get involved anymore. But we've already illustrated the gamble that he's taking, or is forced to take, I should say, this game. Don't join, they might actually outscale you. Join, lose the game single-handedly.
Or win it. It's better to try than to come at the end of your life and think, what was I doing for this entire time, right? So I don't mind if Violent throws this game with the attempts.
You're getting really existential on me right now, but yeah, I do agree as well. And it's in his name, isn't it? But he's gonna have to hurry up. There's a Radiance in build-up on this Brewmaster. PMA not messing around this game. We're gonna scale. We're going to get that mischance hour online. We're going to keep on farming. And this Dragonite's also halfway towards his Aghanim Scepter, so the window where the Midases are punishable is still open for now. But it feels like it's down to StoneBank, and we haven't seen him get the opportunities that he needs yet without it being just a full team fight.
Scan was used in the top lane. NAVI Junior, they know that they're being hunted. Violent was being hunted as well, but NAVI Junior will not be finding him just yet. The score will remain 9-9 at the moment. But you mentioned items. He's going Radiance. The Slark is going Lincolns and Dragonite Aghanim Scepter. So once those items are up, NAVI Junior are gonna be hella strong.
Yeah, they are. And I'm still really enjoying how well this suits their more passive playstyle. Like, pick heroes that are strong early and then dare the enemy to come fight you. Well,
Duel?
Here they are.
That is a great kill to get. The Blade Mill is going to be getting now again. Dendi, he has the Aghanim Scepter. He's going to be doing so much damage in this fight. Now he only hit level 15. So the lower cooldown of the shield crash in the ball isn't really going to be there at the start of it. But either way, NAVI Junior, they lose the hero. That's going to be another duel victory. Bait, they're going to be happy.
That was about the most you can expect, especially with the DK form being popped there. Good restraint from PMA though, not getting baited into using the Primal Split for a fight where Bait was undoubtedly going to retreat again.
Juggernaut will have an SNY in no time. There it is. He will be finishing it off, and we'll see what the next item will be as Mary in a pretty aggressive position, but nobody there to really punish him, and Stoman, and he will get punished as he was way too deep in enemy territory.
Now we're looking at almost a chess game, where really it's all down to how farmed Violet can get right now. Like the other two cores on his team can definitely scale for good damage as well, as the Phoenix dodges a glimpse.
Yep.
But not his death.
Yeah, so guys, I don't want to just die. I want to give up my ulti and die. And so Mary will be successful at doing that. He did attempt to Icarus dive as far as possible and then go for the egg, but he saw that the glimpse will be taking him back in just half a second, so he had to pop it. I think this was the only way he actually lives, but just not even close in the end.
Dendi and StoneBank, by the way, directly gunning for that Wisdom Room because theirs was already getting taken down. Really needing to read the game there, dive that tower, take it down. The side of NAVI Junior is on the other side, up in your Ancients.
Again, all three cores of Bait are at the top of the network chart. Those Midases, Skips, when are they gonna start kicking in? Like, what's happening? NAVI Junior, are they gonna get ahead?
Yep. I believe that the transition is happening pretty much right now when the next round of items after that Midas is coming in. So the Radiance is up for the Brewmaster, gonna have a Shard next. DK choosing not to go for the ult and getting picked off by Violent.
Is Violent gonna escape? No way, right? There is no way you're escaping this. Actually, he's gonna be going through the trees. They don't have the vision of him. Finally, they're gonna be getting the glimpse, and the backup is coming over. The Force Staff a little bit too early inside of the kinetic field. He will fall, but there's gonna be a deal. How dare you bring back my Juggernaut? Now you die. The four pandas need to run themselves away. PMA, though, caught in the stolen kinetic field, but the rest of the pack of the Brewlings will be making their escape. The Juggernaut fought 1 versus 4. He got super lucky with the Omni Slashes and he killed the Dragonite. He almost escaped. If he had, that would be a disaster for NAVI Junior. This way,
oh yeah,
it's okay.
I mean, that's why I was so surprised about it happening at all. I did. Like, in my mind, when I saw his position on the minimap, I'm like, okay, he's spin TPing.
Nope. No, he's Omni Slash killing and then spin running, and in the end, obviously didn't work out. But
I'm putting too little respect on my man Violent's name. Clearly,
I don't know. You definitely are. Though in Amiga, he tended to be a little bit less aggressive because the Amiga are, in general, a more aggressive team than Bait, I'd say, as they're one of the most aggressive teams. And then you do have this space to go for it. And here, Bait, they are moving aggressively on the map, but it is not as much as Namiga with Malrine on the front would do.
Completely agreed on that regard. And I think he also feels the pressure this game and answering it in what is, in my opinion, the correct way. He's looking for his opportunities just a little bit more than it would be normally.
Navi Junior inside of the Moonlight Shadow. They will be finding Mary. They probably want something else, but you're gonna have to be content with the Phoenix. Actually, blink and a static storm immediately, so they didn't want to risk anything. But that probably would have been a kill even without it. Still not the highest of cooldown of spells.
No, static storm is quite manageable these days.
True, true. Stomanen, he's gonna die to the Tormentor if he's not careful. Violent, he didn't have the healing ward. I thought he just didn't like Stomanen, so didn't want to use it, but it wasn't really the case.
Sucks to be you, buddy.
Yep. Oh, you need the heal during the Tormentor? Yeah, that's because you're a weak individual, I guess. Imagine if you talk to your teammates like that.
Yeah, I mean, why would you even play competitive? I could just queue up for a pub.
No. You get 5 very good friends, and that's how you play with them. Like every single time they miss an arrow, you say something like, "Oh, awesome arrow, dude! Can we get another one of those?" You know, that is the fun way to play Dota.
These 2 heroes on bot.
Dendi, roll up. Nah, not gonna be caught. He did drink a nice Cinder Brew there, and well, he gets himself out before it gets ignited. Now going forward, no static storm. So PMA, he could be in trouble. He's losing some mana. He goes for the split. No, that's not going to be happening in the stolen kinetic field. He will be fine as the Slark uses the shard there to cancel the duel. The Omni Slash kills the Brewlings, but not all 4 of them. One will survive. Rolling Thunder in the backline. Dendi doing as much damage as he can, but really nobody's going to be dying just yet. That shot, a big deal. Now he gets brought back. Dendi is still alive. He turns around with the shield crash. He's not taking damage. Now the egg will be used. The kinetic field and the static storm are there, but they're not gonna be dying as the lift from the Rubik, one of the only things, if not the only thing that can get people out of the kinetic field. In the end, Gibbs only 1 hero died.
Yeah, well, we're not quite done yet.
Yep, got the juice, in trouble. He has the Lincoln Sphere. They don't care about your Lincoln Sphere. He will eat the arrow while spinning on the Juggernaut. Doesn't really care about it. Defends his teammates. And doesn't even get stunned up. They're going to bring back StoneBank. Do you really want to be fighting this dude? Well, he'll get lifted up and tossed away.
And here is the bill. It's coming due. Finally, Violence at a point where he does not have to care about the primal split. And the fight goes accordingly. They still have a lift on that Rubik as well, that defensive lift.
It's a big deal. Oh, Dendi, he'll get taken back. Nope, he says, I have a roll-up. He curls up in a ball. Fetal position protects him. Juggernaut arrowed, immediately lifted up and tossed back. They don't want to allow their Jugger to die, and the tier 3 will be taken down. Aegis still up for another minute 40.
And they were fully prepared to lose that Aegis on Dendi when he got brought back, but he didn't even die there, and that's the damage problem right there. I think, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm so surprised that the DK went for the BKB over his Aghanim Scepter, because if you understand your lineup, surely you know that this window is coming and that you have to have damage ready by the time that Violent is going to come.
Bait, they got into the enemy base, they took the Raxes, they didn't lose anything for it, and they still have the Aegis to work with. Their Omnislash is coming back off cooldown. Depth Shroud from the Slark is a big deal, so he did go for the Lincolns and the Depth Shroud, making the duel just not a spell any longer, to be honest.
At the very least not versus him, but StoneBank has been taking all comers so far.
True. Violent going forward, the stun will connect onto the Phoenix. They have the signs, but he has the ult to protect himself. The arrow doesn't connect on anybody. He's trying to survive. The Phoenix, he will get saved. The egg does come out. We need to get those 8 hits in, and they will have them in the end. But the Omni Slash is destroying Niku. Will be going onto the Brewlings. No, now there's gonna be a duel onto the poor Mirana. The 2 ladies fight it out until death, and we know that StoneBank is much stronger. PMA next on the menu. They will be slowing him down. Then he actually doesn't have the mana for the Diffusal Blade usage as Violent goes again for objective gaming. Dendi, his Aegis is going to be expiring fairly soon. They don't want to kill him. They don't want to kill him now, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to be getting the heal as he does get the blink out. Now the lift onto the Brewmaster. He does have the Storm stance, so he's not really taking all that much damage. The Depth Shot protecting both of them. Got the juice. He's going to get the lucky shot on him, so no attack speed for you, my friend. The Cinder Brew will be used. Dendi gets all of his HP back. What now? Come for me now if you're there, NAVI Junior. They don't, and they'll get themselves back, but Bait has gotten everything they want. The Goldie, the tier 3, only the Raxes remain now on the bottom.
Got that buyback out of daze as well. And now Navi Junior definitely on the back foot. Gave it a darn good shot with both of those fights, though, I have to say. But I think the real problem is just that gotthejuice does not get enough stacks out of the first half of the fight to actually clean up after the second half of the fight. And maybe that's due to having been forced into such defensive itemization. Yeah, somebody needs damage, and he also doesn't have it.
This was my issue when I saw the Slark, right? Because when you look at the heroes of Bait, what's the best hero versus them? Slark. Like, instantly,
Yeah.
I want to pick a Slark. But then you look at Navi Junior's heroes, and I just don't want to have a Slark as my carry in this lineup. I don't want to see it, or I don't want to have a Dragonite as my mid laner. Something had to be different, and we can see that they just cannot get the kill. Ever since the Rubik got his shard, nobody's even gonna die inside of the Static Storm.
Yeah, and the Static Storm has been their biggest weapon by far. We saw it in the kill on the bot lane, where Violent died without being able to do anything whatsoever. That was beautiful use of that Static Storm, but with the Rubik Shard, yeah, not so much.
Violent didn't go for the lifesteal talent. He went for the -3 seconds on the spin, and he's the one with the radiance on the Juggernaut. So he's gonna be bringing in the burn as well.
I love this guy. And yeah, like if he says that you should go the Blade Fury in a game like this, now I'm not gonna say that that's overall, but you all Juggernaut players out there better watch it and think about it.
Yep, he has now so many misses for the Slark because there is also a butterfly on Violent. He's never gonna get hit. Goes in with the Omni Slash. Let's go. 1 versus 5. Who's gonna be winning? The Jugger, actually, in a lot of trouble. He gets forced out, has the spin. Now he is gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Has the Lincoln Sphere, gets lifted up and tossed back as StoneBank running in with the BKB. The Lincolns was broken, but gotthejuice not gonna be dueled. They caught the Phoenix. He has the duels again. This is gonna be taking a long time, especially with the Rolling Thunder coming in. Niku is trying to finish off the Phoenix. Will be able to do it. The duel onto the Mirana, onto the other side. There will be a Cyclone, not allowing him to finish it off, and the depth shot protecting the Mirana. And for the time being, they're all inside of the depth shot. They found Violet, but he's gonna be purged, so no stun for him. That's stun from the Dragonite. They probably could have killed him inside of it, but not gonna be happening. He now goes for the spin, and the overwhelming amount of overtime damage is insane coming out from Violent.
Yep, absolutely ridiculous. And I think that's his read right here. That's why the Radiance is up and why he's got the Blade Spin. He wants to live and make use of the fact that the opposing side lacks enough damage to focus fire any of his heroes down. They used everything to get that Phoenix once again. That means that the Rubik lives, keeps on getting people out of troubling situations with the lift, means that the LC lives, you get a beautiful duel out of that, you get the pressy attack saves, and all the time Violent doesn't even have to be hitting any people. He just spins, burns, spins, burns, spins, burns your house down.
This is the best Rubik performance I've seen, in a sense that he's not stealing good spells. He's just using the Rubik spells to look cool, right? It really is insane how much he's doing. And now Violent even gets the shard. There's gonna be even more damage when he's spinning.
I mean, man, the Fate Bolt damage reduction versus a triple melee core enemy lineup that is very reliant on right clicks is also phenomenal. It's just such a good Rubik game. And since there aren't any, like, life-changing spells to steal, apart from the ones that are really tough to get, like the Static Storm, like the Brewmaster Split.
So, Navi Junior, 18k goal behind. There is gonna be a Roche. You have to fight it. I think if they let the Roche go, that is just over. Even though it might force you to lose faster. If you lose a team fight, you just call it, I guess. I don't know if you actually have the luxury of saving buybacks at the moment. But if you stay in your base, it is just a certain loss.
Because, I mean, you would have to... Maybe, I guess, if you think that the time of losing Roche is going to give gotthejuice enough time to properly get this MKB up, he's 600 gold off. I think he can do that. Yeah, so that's the trade you're taking right now.
There's an Aghanim's on the Brewmaster, so he does have his primal companion. And he's not using that Primal Companion to send him to the Roche pit or be annoying or whatever. This is just gonna be a Roche given for free, the bait, and then ending the game just won't be that hard whatsoever for him.
I think the only shot is that this Slark pops off now. And I guess...
As the
I
MKB.
guess there's a possibility. But it's one man versus the world.
I mean, that MKB is a possibility because he's finally going to be doing some damage. So let's see if that damage is going to be enough. Bait, of course, they're going to be transferring themselves to the top lane through the twin gates. And it is time for that last push. I don't really think they're waiting for any items. The Juggernaut will have his same MKB as well. Okay. It will expire though. Okay, they'll go for a smoke. Nice move.
Okay. This is the most initiative that we've seen out of them, and now they just need to commit. And they're hoping that they can get a good positioning here, which they do.
They get StoneBank up in the air. I don't think Bait have to rush this. They can wait for the creeps to get in. The glimpse was used. StoneBank still annoyed. And that's about it. Riddys jumping in. They found the Phoenix. The Eagles will be protecting him. They have the lift to save the Phoenix. Will be able to do so, but he got arrows. He's still going to be taking a lot of damage. The Slark goes in because the egg off is going to be a disaster. He does have the buyback. The duel was used. And look at the Omni just destroying them. The Invis not really going to be protecting you all that much. Violent. He doesn't have his Omni Slash any longer. He's going to get pulled back there by the Astral Pool. PMA doesn't want him inside of the fight, but you already lost the Mirana and the Slark. You're no longer capable of fighting this one. And PMA, he's just hoping to get to the side there. He does have the shard, so he's probably going to be coming back to his Storm Panda. He's just trying to buy as much time as he can with the Earth one.
But what is the use? You put all of your eggs in the Slark basket, and he just cracked.
Yep. Very easily at that.
Yeah. Like, he knows that he has to play harder here, so he gets a couple of stacks off the Juggernaut, then moves in further, but he puts himself in a place where indeed he can get AoE down by the slashes.
He's just dying to the AoE of the Juggernaut, right? The Flame Cloak, the Radiance, the spins, and of course the Omni Slash with the Battle Fury. The AoE potential of Violent is insane. While we are looking at this team fight, also in the base of NAVI Junior, they're being slaughtered in their last game of the Pinnacle Cup Malta vibes. They've had a long ride, but Bait, who've only entered the tournament today, will be staying in it for longer, getting a bigger prize. NAVI Junior, they probably don't feel too good about this, but they got completely outclassed. They were the worst team today, and Bait were definitely better. And NAVI Junior, they do buy back on PMA. They still want to fight the Slark. He's going to be going in. He's going to try to fight the Egg. You cannot go for it. The Juggernaut is just spinning inside of the Shadow Dance, and the Slark barely survives. Not for long. One more crit will be sealing the deal. They call GG. They can't take it any longer. The big black dragon is going to be taken down by a very small blue dragon. Victory! How cute